Our mission. The mission of Peter Abigail Foundation is to encourage and empower immigrants achieve dreams by making them aware of government incentives and resources that are available, especially in times of need. Our vision. We achieve this by providing information, organizing seminars, webinars, and retreats. Additionally, we promote inclusion through community involvement and collaboration, organize and collate informational resources for immigrants, encourage them to come together and be more interactive in commerce, business, and politics, among others. Encourage religious bodies to be more involved in their congregational welfare, and also enlighten immigrants' achievements in the United States and the world. Today, our focus will be on immigration, the bedrock aspect of Peter Abigail Foundation. Subsequently, Let's Talk series will be dealing with issues affecting us in our daily lives as immigrants, like finance, family, social interaction, health, faith, among others. Today's webinar title, How to Obtain a Green Card in the United States, will be delivered by Barrister Dr. Janet Fashakin, a New York-based international renowned and award-winning lawyer on civil and criminal law, especially on immigration, divorce, landlord and tenant foreclosure, real estate, and family law. She's going to be giving us insight on how undocumented immigrants can obtain green card in the United States. And to make sure we are helping you as best as we can, we employ anyone with questions to click the chat box to submit them. Please feel free to drop your questions, and our guest speaker will deal with them at the end of the webinar. Good morning and welcome again.
Is it over to me? All right. I greet everyone, either hearing me or watching me on this program. But I want to say thank you to the organizers of the program, I believe the Abigail Foundation, for deeming it fit to be able to reach out to people through your program. And I think there is nothing as good as empowerment. I call this an empowerment. Because when people are knowledgeable in what they need to survive in a foreign land, it's empowering. Because a lot of people get stranded in nations like United States of America, UK, Canada, because they fall into wrong hands because they don't have information. Information is very powerful. And information is not usually something you can read online, because sometimes you read something, the interpretation to you may even take you in a very wrong direction. But when you can have people like this Abigail Foundation reaching out to people and bringing out people who can help you, I think it is your own responsibility to make sure that you make yourself available for such programs. So I want to say thank you. And thank you especially to Mr. Adewale, I believe it was Adewale Owade, who reached out to me. Thank you very much for that. So let's go straight to why we are here today. We are here to learn about how can I get a green card, whether I'm inside the United States of America or I'm outside, because it's not only when you are inside alone that you can get a green card. You can also get it even from outside, depending on what you file for. For instance, if you are out there and your intending spouse is here and he comes to your country to marry you, he will return without you, but he will begin to file for you. And along the line, they will give you your paper to enter. So you got your green card from outside of the United States. If you file also for your family member, your parents, your brothers and sisters, and it is time for them to come in, they are coming in from outside unless they are already here in the United States. So don't focus only on the fact that you can only be inside the United States to get your green card. And what I tell people that want to file for their brothers and sisters is to let them return back to their country. Let them get like a visitor's visa along the line, come, go, come, go. Because once they are inside and you file for them, if they leave without a parole, they will lose that filing. And they cannot get either parole or even a green card until way after 7 years. Some countries is an upward of 23 years. Nigeria right now is about 17 years that you file for your spouse, your friend, I mean, your brothers and sisters. But the one for parents and the one for your children is much less than that. That one is having almost like automatic, like husband and wife. So let me arrange it in a way that you can understand. Um, I want to start by saying a foreign citizen that is seeking to live permanently in the United States will require an immigrant visa, and this is sometimes called a green card. So there are a few different ways to get a green card as an alien. Okay, you can get it. The first and the most popular one is through marriage. When you marry an American citizen or a green card holder, you can get your green card. And it used to be very fast in the past until they start catching people in fraud. So it's now very stringent. You have to really prove that not only did you marry your spouse, but that you marry your spouse for love, not for green card. And that will be shown when you go for your interview. It's not everyone that applies that will go for interview. I have a few clients that they just gave because they saw that everything boils out to having a loving relationship and not just for green card. So if they are in doubt, they will invite you for an interview and they will question your spouse. Sometimes they will approve the one for your spouse and may not approve the one for the person that needs the green card because there may be little things that the person needs to tidy up, like if he has divorced before, and if that divorce is not very clear, they may say they approve that of your husband, but not your spouse, and not approve that of your own, but they will give you letter to say that they need you to show that this thing is legit, it's legitimate. If everything is okay, then you get your green card. When you get it, you also get it for all your children that are below the age of 21. It doesn't mean that you won't get it for those who are older than 21, but that will take time because that's about category, I think category 3 until you yourself become a citizen, then you can move it to category 2. And also along that line, you also have the family preferences that they call family preferences, not husband and wife, but parents and children below the age of 21. Your parents who are citizens can file for you, or who are green card holder can file for you if you are below the age of 21. And children too, people come from abroad to come and have children here so that those children can eventually file for them when they turn 21 and above. So once your children are 21 and above, they can file for you as well. They can file for their father, they can file for their mother, they can file for their step parents as well. You also can file for your stepchildren, for those parents who are filing for their children. You also can file for your stepchildren. You can file for your adopted children. Uh, Children that you can call yours legally speaking, not necessarily your biological children, because it's not only your biological children that qualifies as your children. If you adopt a child, it's your child. Uh, if your wife has a child before getting married to you, it's your step kid. If they are below the age of 21, they too can be filed for. Another popular way is asylum. If there is a reason, I mean, there must be a reason when you don't have anybody to fight for you. There must be a reason why you want to leave your country so much and you want to run away from it. That may be in the past because now people can run away because of poverty and so on. But sometimes you have people pursuing you, like you are so vocal in your country, and many of these third world presidents, they don't like people criticizing them. So they want to come after you if you can escape. The very next country that allows asylum, you can go there and seek asylum. But funnily enough, people who want to come to the US, they don't want to stop at those countries that would have granted them asylum, and they want to come here. But we come out in your interview to find out if there was any country that you passed by where you spend more than 24 hours. If there is any such country that believes in asylum, you are supposed to seek your asylum there. However, if there are none, or if what you had was just a stopover of a few hours and you didn't get out of the airport, yeah, you can come to the United States of America if that's your final destination, and you can file for asylum. Here in America, to file for asylum, you must do that within 1 year of your getting to the United States of America. So as soon as you get in, if you know you are running away from something or something is pursuing you, just get all your evidences together, especially pictures can be good, photographs, like they say. um, I think a lot of people, let me give an example of when Abiola was killed. A lot of people came in using that opportunity to say they are related to Abiola, or they are part of Abiola's political something, they are chasing them, this and that. They took photographs of things that were damaged, newspaper cuts that shows that there was something, there was a problem. And even when Abiola was alive too, when he was still outside, people also used that. And also during some military interceptions, people ran out of, I'm using Nigeria. I know a lot of you come from other countries, but pardon me. I'm using what I know in order to give you this lecture. Because I didn't ask if you are just Nigerians, but I'm assuming that non-Nigerians are also going to join. What is going on in the world, if it affects you personally and it has the hand of the government in it, you can file for asylum. Because when you are running away, where can you run to in any part of the country if the government is pursuing you? You know, they're going to chase you to a role. So if you are able to escape and you come, and your problem is really legitimate, you will be granted an asylum. And after some time, you can then convert that to application for green card. Uh, another way in which you can get a green card in America, because America loves itself, and America always seek its good, which is what a good country will seek. Unlike what we have in third world country, where those who are leading seek only their own personal interest. America they seek the interest of America, not just President Biden seeking his own personal interest, but seeking the benefit of the entire country. And one way of doing that is to promote their commerce. So if you have money to invest, they beckon to you to come and invest your money here. And they call that investors visa, which is under EB5 program. And under that program, investors and their spouses and their married children under the age of 21, they are eligible to apply for green card. And that can be possible from how much they have to invest. There are certain areas where they have to invest less. There are certain areas where they have to invest more, depending on how their people like to move into the place. If you want to invest in New York, of course, you're going to have to do more. You have to pay in more than when you have to go to the Appalachian areas where nobody wants to live. Okay, they give you that leeway. This was something that was created by the Congress in 1990, and it is to boost the US economy. And they encourage people to bring their capital investment as investors. And then in 1992, the government also, the Congress also created the Immigrant Investor Program that they called the Regional Center Program, which sets aside that EB5 visa for participants who invest in commercial enterprise that is associated with regional centers that is approved by the immigration people, the immigration department, based on proposal for promoting economic growth. So they use that. If you are ready to come and boost their economy, and the money you are bringing is legitimate, not a stolen money, not money that you have deprived people in your country and you think you can come to America and get your green card because you have some stolen money. That will not work, because you have to show how you got that money. You have they will trace. Okay, there is tracing going on to know how you did that. Then there are other ways in which if your employer is here, you can be employed through an employer in America, like for instance, uh, let's say like automobile, like Toyota, Peugeot, and so on. They are here and they can employ people from their base. If their base is in China or is in India, or they decide to employ people from outside of their base, they can do that. And they can bring them in to come and manage. Okay, somebody is asking me if the meeting can be recorded. I believe the meeting is being recorded, right, Mr. Adewale?
The meeting is being recorded.
It's recorded?
Yes. It's being recorded.
Okay. Yeah. It's being recorded. Okay. Somebody is sending something and saying, please, can you record the meeting? All right. So that's your employer can transfer you here under the intercorporate transfer. And that can eventually lead to your getting your green card. However, your petitioning employer must be a U.S. employer who intends to employ you in a managerial or executive capacity. So if you come and they have been doing business in, they must have been doing business in America for a period of time, I think for, I can't remember how many years now. They must have been doing business there. And they must have been operating as a legal entity, okay, in a corporate capacity to be able to employ you. I mean, to be able to employ you or transfer you to their business. So if they do that, they don't need any labor certification. They don't need much. All they have to say is maybe what you are doing over there in overseas, they want you to come and teach people here, or they want to bring you here to be able to school you so that you can take it back to their base. Okay, so that's the entrepreneur, intercorporate transfer. They can bring you here, and through that, if you stay a required time, you may be able to get your green card as well. Okay, I think it's 1 year. You must have been operating for an upward of 1 year in order for the person that you brought in for your corporation to be able to transfer you in here. Also, there's another way in which you can get your green card. If you are studying, you can use studying. You can apply to US colleges to get your bachelor's or master's degree, and that will entitle you to a 1 year postgraduate work permit that they call OPT, optional practical training. And following the 1 year that you have worked successfully, you can get your employer, your boss, to apply for an H-1B work visa for you. Okay, and if they agree to do that, then you can also get your boss to apply for labor certification from the Department of Labor for jobs that Americans may not be interested in. And if they are willing to do that, then they can apply for a green card through the Department of Homeland Security for you. All these things that I'm saying is better done by your attorney, because once you begin to create doubt in their mind and they begin to see reasons to deny you, it will take a lot for you to be able to get it. So you want to hit it just once and get through with it. All right. You can also get an employer that will employ you if you are somebody of an extraordinary ability. Well, they call that EB2. I'm jumping EB1. I'm coming back to EB1 now. The EB2 is something that you can do yourself. If you have, what is it now? If you have like a degree, master's, PhD, and you are exceptionally brilliant and you have done something that you can show, okay? You can apply for H-1B work visa and then get a green card through labor certification, just like I explained in the student example, or you can apply for that EB2 extraordinary worker green card that is based on a national interest waiver. Okay, you can show them that you have something that will benefit America. And if they agree with you, you will not have to go through the labor certification. However, in most cases, you have to go through labor certification to show that you qualify for their labor something, and also that you are not taking away the American job. Now, H-1B applicants who perform services in a specialty occupation, services of exceptional merit, and ability relating to a Department of Defense cooperative research and development project, or services as a fashion model of distinguished merit, or ability to be like a performing artist, can obtain. You can also obtain your green card if your employer will apply for labor certification for you and then sponsor you for the green card. It's a very narrow and tedious way, but if you can stay the course, many people have successfully been able to get that. And that's one way of sponsoring yourself if you don't have anybody to sponsor you. If you stay in there, get an attorney that can help you through, and then don't miss step. There's also the one they call EB1. You may be entitled to EB1 if you are a non-American of extraordinary ability, or you have an outstanding ability, like a professor or a researcher, or people who have done things that you can say, hey, this person is an accomplished somebody in his field. You may be able to get what, in fact, for those ones, we do fax the application and we get the result just like that. So what is that saying to you? That whatever your hand finds to do it very well. And then the world will be looking for you, they'll be searching for you, they will want to employ you. And a lot of people have done that. Instead of coming here as an undocumented alien, you can apply from your country, and what you're going to get is a letter from them that says congratulations. And these are some of the ways in which you may be able to get your green card. And I think the time they gave me is about 30 minutes. Have I overused my time?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So those are ways in which you can qualify for a green card. There are other ways that is not the direct way. For instance, if you marry an American who brought you here, or you met here, is an American, you're not an American, and because you are not documented alien, it begin to harass you, it begin to molest you, it begin to treat you harshly, and telling you that nobody will listen to your story. If you misbehave, it's going to call the police on you, to come and deport you, to come and do this. That's an harassment. And if it is of a level that is beginning to bother you, you are having palpitation, you're losing weight, you're having headache, you are afraid for your life that the person might kill you, lock you up and all that, you may be able to get your green card by sponsoring yourself under VAWA, Violence Against Women Act. Because in the past, it used to be with men harassing women, beating them up and all that. Those who come from third world country, you know what I'm talking about. But here, America does not allow people to be that wicked and that and engage in criminal activity just because you are a citizen and the other person, your wife, is not, or your stepchild, or even or your parents. It's not allowed. And if that is happening and it's documented, if you can escape, call the cops. Get it documented. Many of them that comes to us, they don't want their husband or wife arrested, but get it documented. And with the documentation, we send them to family court. Go and state your case there. The person also might be brought to the family court to come and state his own case. If you can show that you have actually been abused, sometimes there are marks, there are swollen faces, there are busted lips, there are scars over the body. you know, that you can use to prove. Even if you don't have all that, if you can prove, if you can prove that you have been emotionally battered, severe, not just battered, but severely battered, you may be able to self-petition for yourself and you'll be able to get your green card. That's another way of getting a green card. Those are the few ones that I'm going to bring to you today. And I'm going to pause there if anybody has a question before I move on to my next assignment. And I want to say thank you for having me. It is good to be here. I love everywhere where there is empowerment. I love where people are allowed to know their rights. And that nobody can harass you because you have paper or you don't have paper. America is a wonderful country. You can't compare it with any other country of the world. If you behave yourself, even if you are illegal here, people are illegal here and they spend years before they get their papers. If you stay where you are supposed to be, you don't engage in a criminality, you are not the one that is found carrying guns around, robbing people, cheating people, doing things that the law of the land does not allow, you can stay cool, you can stay with your heads down. Along the line, you will get an opportunity to convert and be able to get your paper here. So I will tell you, as an American of over 22, going to over 23 years, not even going over 23 years, and who have raised children who are adult children in this country as well, and who have navigated their own way successfully. I want to welcome our young people, but don't go following evil. Don't look to cut corners. Don't look to do things that are not right. Stay there and then ask questions and then connect with people that can help you. Connect with real attorneys. Many of you connect with non-attorneys because you don't want to pay attorney's fee. And then you find over the years, you have either put yourself in trouble of being deported because your papers are rejected, or you have paid more than you're supposed to pay because now you go back, you can find a person of no address who is meeting you at an eatery to file your papers for you. That's dangerous. So reach out for qualified attorneys who have offices, who have names, who have numbers, and whom you can trace, and then follow suit, and then you'll be able to do things properly. And one day they will say, congratulations, you have been sworn in as an American. Thank you very much. And yeah, I will stop.
Well, thank you very much. Anybody that asks questions, please put it on the chat site so that we can write. I have somebody here, ma'am, talk about graduate students. And then another one said that, is there any option for STEM students? I don't know what about that, but what are the options there for students?
STEM students, the OPT, I think the OPT is 1 year. And if you want to extend it, you must be able to get an employment that is around the profession that you are in. I think STEM stands for science, technology, medicine. I can't remember the E part of it. So those who are there and they do the optional practical trainings, if you stay with your employer and your employer likes you and is filed for you, you may be able to get your green card through that as well. So I think the first one is 1 year, and then if you get the job or a similar job that for what you trained for, then you can move on. And then I think for the other 2 years, you will be able to do the other 2 years. When you are going on, I'll find that out correctly so I don't mislead you.
Okay, thank you. Then another question is, somebody has been in this country for a while and she's working, but with no papers. And then she's afraid that even if she starts filing now and they start asking questions, it might even affect her at her job. So what are the options available to her, ma'am?
Well, she said it herself. She said she's working without papers. So, I mean, you have found yourself guilty right there, not the system. But do people work without papers? Yeah, people work without papers. Is it illegal to do so? Absolutely not. Because if you go for your interview and they ask you, have you ever worked without legal papers? And you say yes, that may be the end of that interview. So what will I say? Try not to work, try not to do anything that is illegal. And if you are in doubt, then talk to your attorney. You won't get an attorney that will sit here and be telling you that you work illegally and you admitted you work illegally and will tell you this is the way to go and get your green card. But talk to your attorney and he may be able to navigate you.
Thank you. Another question just came up too. Two questions actually. One is, how much does an attorney charge for EB2 NIW? That's the first question.
EB2 National Interest Waiver. There is no specific amount of money that an attorney charges for anything in America. It's not like a grocery store. What they charge depends on their experience. What they charge depends on the difficulty of the case. And then also what they have to pay for immigration, if there's an immigration fee. So what you will get, a junior attorney in my office that I might refer your case to charge cannot be that will bill you for a junior attorney in my office will not be the same if I were to be the one to do the job because of the complication that may be involved. So there is no hard and fast rule about what an attorney charges. An attorney will also not charge for anything. It depends on if at the time you come to the attorney is deciding to take cases for people who cannot afford an attorney. So there is no definite answer for that.
But how, any advice for them on how to get a good, because you've been saying that good attorney, and I realize that some people just want to go to somebody cheaper who they don't even know, maybe it's an attorney. So how do they know that, okay, this person is good, this person is okay? Just an advice of people that are eager.
If you go to Google, people have reviews, okay? You can use any profession in this land, any job in this land, even if you go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, you can always go to Google and see what people say about them. That's number one. Then talking to other people who have used that attorney is number two. And then number three is knowing and researching the attorney, the background of the attorney. What has she done? And let me say, the fact that somebody is not a good attorney in a particular area does not mean it's not a good attorney in another area. Every attorney has what they focus on. When they were reading my resume just now, the gentleman narrowed down the area that I practice in. I am good in the area that I practice in. If you now take me to an area that I don't practice, for instance, I have a daughter that does the white collar crime, and so specializes in that. She's one of the people that prosecute people in Wall Street and so on. I know nothing about that. So if I would go and take a case there, I will ruin it. Does it mean I'm not a good attorney? In that area, I am not, because taking something that I don't have any knowledge about makes me not a good attorney in that area. Whereas if you come to me on immigration, you come to me on divorce, you tell me they want to take your house away from you, like in foreclosure, you have a trust problem, that's my area. I will sit on it and I will see that I do my best. That makes me a good attorney in that area. So saying that somebody is not a good attorney may be because the person doesn't practice that and is just getting greedy to go and take something that is not knowledgeable about. We all have basic knowledge of pretty much everything across the board when we went to law school. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to pass. You have to pass all across the board. But that's different from remaining in that specialty and doing in-service training and studying more and following the court on the way the judges are deciding the case and listening to the Congress people, the way they are changing the law and so on. Somebody who doesn't practice in that area will not be focusing in that. And maybe they have changed the law from the time when you went to law school, and you still want to do your case like that, you'll be in trouble. So you have gone to somebody who is not a good attorney. So that's what I mean. Otherwise, every attorney that went to law school and passed and got called to the bar are good. But are they good in what you have given to them? Are they particularly knowledgeable in that area? Is what makes the difference. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Another question is, this one asks that, is it possible to come in with a visitor's visa and get married to an American citizen?
Oh, sure.
And yet get your green card. I said, what are the timing like for marriage and filing?
Well, I mean, I had somebody that we filed for recently. They didn't even call them for interview. From the time we started to the time they got their green card, it was 5 months. And we have people who have been there for 2 years. They keep renewing their work permit, and they haven't given them, they've gone for interview, and for a strange reason, they want to call them for a second interview because they have some things that, you know, when they think that your marriage might not be based on the right category, they will call you for a second interview. And if they call you for a second interview, if they still don't believe in what you have presented, they might deny you. They might deny your this thing. But if everything is okay after the second interview, that they used to give you the opportunity and they ask you more questions and you are okay, then you get the congratulations that you got your green card. So you can come here anyhow. You can come here based on investor something, you change your mind. You can come here as a student, you change your mind. You can come here on a visitor's visa, you change your mind. You might file for asylum, and and it's not going well for you, and you decide to say, I'm not doing it anymore. You find the love of your life and you go married to the person. Of course, the marriage one is always faster if there is no K-leg. But what happened, what delays it many times for foreigners is sometimes they say they have divorced their husband back home. And like in Nigeria, there are 2 steps for their divorce. There's what they call decree nisi and decree absolute. Some of them will just get the first one, decree nisi, and then they are coming, they say they have divorced. And then you got married to an American citizen. You just engage in bigamy. And if not because they're thinking you are ignorant, they're supposed to arrest you for bigamy because you didn't wait to get the decree absolute that should come 90 days after the first one. And all these things have to be documented in the court something. And they know Nigerian people to be fraudulent. I'm sorry to say, I'm a Nigerian. They know them to be fraudulent. They look at stamps, they look at signatures, they look at, the fonts, they look at it. And if they are not happy with that, they will just deny you. And then the next thing they tell you to leave the country. But if they tell you to leave the country, come to an attorney, especially if you have done it yourself and they're telling you leave. And if you have an attorney already, of course, your attorney will step into it and see another way in which you can be able to stay here.
Thank you, ma'am. Some questions are coming in. I want us to go to these religious areas. I mean, churches and mosques. I say, how do a church or a mosque file for their workers?
The same way an employer file for their worker. And it depends on the kind of person you are filing for. If you are a church or a mosque, you are filing for an imam or you're filing for a pastor of your church. The first thing is to see whether the qualification of that person matches that of your church, the church where that person is coming from a foreign land, and the church here that is filing, they must be the same. If you are a CAC, you are filing for somebody from CAC, or somebody who has gone to CAC seminary, has trained in CAC, has the qualification of CAC, and then you ask the person to come over here. And of course, you also have to reach out to the CAC over there where the person is working. And if they say, okay, we support this person going abroad, and you say, oh, we have an opening for him to come over to us, yeah, you can file for the person. And in filing for the person, you must be able to state, what do you want the person to come here to do that an American member of your church cannot do? Okay, if it's something that an American of your church can volunteer for, you may have to prove more why you want to bring the person. But if it is not, for instance, like Jewish, they have all this kosher, you have all these things, the imam, they have the halal. They might say, okay, we're looking for somebody to cook in our kitchen, and it's something that requires special approach, and we can't get people to do it here. So you can be a cook and they can fight for you. You can be a pastor if they can state what it is that you want to do. If you're an evangelical church, we want this person to be able to reach out in our evangelical ministry and oversee the people who are doing food pantry and bring the gospel through there. And we can't find anybody that can do that. Is well trained, is a member of our church, both here and abroad, this and that. You'll be able to file for your employee, kind of your pastor or your cook or whoever you want to bring. But what has made that difficult? It used to be very easy. What has made it very difficult is because immigration are now going on visitation to these churches that say they want to file for people. And there have been situations in which they gave address of a church, they find out it's in the basement. When they got there, they meet the father, the mother, and their toddler. And that's a church. So it's like, okay, where is this person going to practice that religious observance? And we like now staring at the immigration people. So now that makes them to now be digging more into this thing. Otherwise, it shouldn't have to call for much. I say, I need a pastor in my church. I fight for my church and I can prove we can pay the pastor's salary. And the people who are already working for us, they are well paid. So it's not that we're going to decrease their salary to pay the person who is coming from elsewhere. There is no problem. And then you also do your taxes very well, contact your tax people to show, and many times, as a church, you are a tax-free church, but you still have to file. Your accountant still have to file and balance your papers before you can say you want to bring somebody. Otherwise, it should be very, very straightforward. It shouldn't be any problem.
Thank you, ma'am. That's good for religious people, the churches and the mosque filing for their workers. Now let's go to another areas, ma'am. This question comes like, I say I have a 1-year parole in the United States. Now, how can I file my asylum? I came in as a bisexual. I have been interviewed by the ICE officer and they gave me a parole. How is my case like?
But parole to do what? Parole to go outside and be able to return back to the country, or parole for what? If they give you parole, the parole is based on something. And I think the operative word that you want to ask question on here is that you are bisexual. America respects all forms of marriages. It doesn't matter to them. Whether you marry man or you marry woman or you marry both of them, but you can only marry one at a time. If you choose to be a bisexual and you want to go into a marriage, you have to choose. You cannot marry the man and then also go and marry the woman. Then you become big. That will also be considered bigamy. So you have to select who do you want to marry at the time that you want to file. So if you are bisexual, and bisexual meaning you can have relationship with male and you can have with female. And even in this day and age, you have all these non-binary as well. They are all legal under the American something, and they will still put you through the scrutiny of marriage. Are you marrying for love? Are you marrying because you want green card? So you still have to prove all that people in the regular traditional marriage has to prove. So the fact that you are bisexual does not excuse you from all that. So you still have to prove that you married for love. And if you have been married to a man before you divorce the man, your divorce must be proper. You must be able to show that you went through the divorce properly before you jumped on a woman that you think is the right person for you right now. America is a non-discriminatory country.
Thank you. Another question is, how can I boost the EB2-NIW application without having publications from previous successful cases, and what number of recommendations do you suggest?
Can you read that again? I don't understand.
So how can I boost the EB2-NIW application without having publications from your previous successful cases? And what number of recommenders do you suggest?
Well, it's not only EB2 is not only about your publication. EB2 starts with your degree. You must have at least a baccalaureate degree. A master's is a plus, a PhD is excellent. And there's no way you can go through your master's and your PhD and not have a publication, because what did you base your citation on? So you already have a publication. And also, even if you don't have a publication, you must have what they call the peer review. Okay, for articles that you have written, lectures you have given, that you have submitted and went through peer review. And you must have also have evidence of having peer reviewed other people as well. And then you must be able to show that even in all those things that you got a very good grade in them. And in getting recommendations, I don't think there's any limitation to recommendation. I would say the more the merrier. People can give you recommendation, your lecturers can give you recommendation, people you've worked for before can give you recommendation. Different people can give you recommendation to show that you're an excellent person. And with the national interest waiver, it's up to you to prove that you have what will benefit America, that it wouldn't matter whether their own workers need that kind of job, that you are better than them, even if they have workers who are trained in that category kind of something. You can show them what you have done. Everything is not about papers for EB2. No.
Thank you, ma'am. Next question is, okay, another update from one person's question is that he has already filed, but is yet to get a court date. And they said he has reported his situation to ICE twice. That is the person that was given the parole by ICE. I say he has reported the case to ICE twice, that he's still yet to get a court date.
Well, the fact that you mentioned ICE shows me that you were arrested at one point. That's how ICE can get involved in your case. So if you have reported to ICE twice and they have not scheduled your court date will come. It might take time, and ICE might take their time. They might be looking into your case to see how they can bingo you, because when they go to court, it becomes your case. It becomes an ICE case against you, and there is a judge that will judge them. So that is not in their hands anymore to decide. So they might deliberately waste your time to see whether they can get more facts to use against you. But in doing that, I hope that you are getting your work permit, because they're supposed to allow you to get your work permit to work for the duration of your staying here, and they are delaying the case. But if you have an index number from court, your file number from court, your attorney can write to court to find out why your case is being delayed, because this is no longer, once they put you to court, it's no longer ICE. ICE become the plaintiff, and you become the defendant. So it's their word against you, and it's you against them, and you have a judge that is an arbiter. That's what is good about taking you to court. That is not the ICE that will decide whether you stay here or you leave. So that's what that is.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Next questions, I think you mentioned this during your presentation, ma'am, but the question just goes like this. I have two kids born in the United States, 12 and 14-year-olds. At what age can they file for their parents for legal stay in the United States?
I don't know why my picture is not showing on my own system here. Can you see me? I don't know whether it's from my end or from your end.
I can't see you, ma'am.
I can't see myself too. I don't
I've
know what
tried
is
and
going
tried and tried and tried. I can't
unless
see.
I go
But I'm
out
seeing
and
the
come back.
gentleman. I'm seeing the
Okay, do you
gentleman.
allow me? Let me exit and come back in. Can I do that? Or can you hear me?
I can hear you very well,
Yeah,
man.
are you very well, man?
Okay, so do you mind if you don't see my face? Because I don't know why the thing is hiding my face.
No, I don't mind, man. As long as the vital information is important.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody is asking at what age can
Yeah. She said that you have 2 kids at age
who
of
are
12 and
born,
14.
yeah, who are born in America. You know, I mentioned that children that are pregnant people will come to America to come and have their kids so that the kids can file for them at the age of 21 and above. All right. Does that answer it?
Yes,
When they
21 and above. Okay.
Once they turn 21, they can file for you.
Another question, man.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. Last question, man. So far, it's like, I think you mentioned this one, but she wants, the questionnaire wants a specific answer. I say, how soon can someone with a visitor's visa get married to an American citizen on arrival on USA? Can they do it immediately, or they have to wait for some
you can
time?
do it immediately. I mean, if you find love, if it's for love, your love may not want to wait because your love is not thinking about your green card. Your love is thinking about you. Yeah, there's nothing that says you cannot marry the love of your life right away. Like I said, if it's not because of immigration, and once you marry and you have your paper, you have your marriage license. Sometimes people advise that you wait like 2 years, but we have filed for less and with no problems. It's just to show that, oh, you marry this person for love or wait for 2 years. I mean, I don't usually buy the 2-year waiting period. You are married, you don't have your papers in this country, you married to a citizen. Why will your citizen husband not want to file for you right away? So you can do that, but it is what you do after that will show whether the marriage is for love or not. What did you commingle? What did you have together? You say you marry a husband and your husband and wife, you don't have the same address, you don't have any insurance together, you have cars, it's only in one person's name, you file taxes as a married filing single, you have a list that only has the name of one person. I mean, come on. And people want to use that to say immigration should just jump because they've never seen husband and wife before and come and give you green card. It doesn't work like that. So that's what I'm going to tell. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to have how many months or how many years, whatever. It's what you do during the marriage that matters.
Thank you. Anybody with question? Okay, another one just came in.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. I just signed in now.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, my name is Moses of your George. I earlier in the week, I sent a message to you that I wanted to schedule an appointment and I didn't get the response.
I am so sorry. This past 2 weeks has been extremely busy in the office. I'm sorry, but I do try to return all my calls. You may not get it right away, but I tried that within a 7-day, 10-day period, we'll respond if that's the limit.
How soon can I get an appointment? I want to come see you on a personal basis so that.
Call me after this meeting, and I will tell you.
Okay. I'll give you a call after this meeting. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Another question, ma'am, is why does some H-1B petition get approval before the others, even when they file at the same time?
Well, every filing has their own category, and the category has to do with the waiting period. For instance, the brother and sister that I said, there are definite number of visas that they approve every year. The same thing with HB visa. There are definite number of visas that they approve every year, but fortunately the H1B visa doesn't get used up. So not many applicants. And because there are not many applicants, you easily get your approval faster than the others. That's what happened. It's not about the fact that they prefer one to the other because they call some things preferred or something. No, it's how many people use up the visa. Every category has a number of visas. Some of them are like 10,000, some of them are like 50,000, some of them are like 5,000. If you have a 5,000 visa for this year and only 2,000 people applied, the next 2,001 person that will apply will get it immediately because there is no waiting. There is nobody blocking his way. That's why.
Thank you. Another question. It says that, please, I am planning to submit my EB1-A application in the next few days. I'm also planning to do a concurrent filing. My I-94 date is I-94 date is ending on September 5. Any advice, please?
Well, if your I-94 is ending, I will say apply for an extension. So you don't want your filing to meet you in an illegal status, because if your I-94 is expired, you already put yourself in an illegal status, and the standard will now be different, because then you may now be asking for waiver and paying for waiver and looking for things to make them to waive it for you, that you are special, you are better, you are this thing, and there is a difficulty that will affect in an American child or husband or spouse that you have. So instead of putting yourself into that, go ahead now. By Monday, file for your extension of I-94 while you continue with your application.
Thank you. The last question so far says, how can I get...
How many last are we going to entertain?
Last one, ma'am. The last one. Thank you very much. It says, how can you get papers if you married an American lady? I think you answered that one already.
I mean, that's very easy. You marry, yeah, the person will file for you that is petitioning for his alien relative, and then you yourself will put your own there to say, please change my category from an illegal alien to illegal alien, or from a visitor to somebody who's qualified to file for green card. You do everything at the same time. Your husband files or your wife files for you as an American citizen. You file to ask for adjustment of status. So, and as soon as they get that one, within 3 to 6 months, they are likely to approve your work permit and your parole to be able to travel. And if you get that, once you get your work permit, at the same time, your lawyer will also apply for your social security number for you. And if it doesn't, you can just take that, your work permit, go to social security office and get your social security number. Bingo, you are free to work in this land. Welcome to the land of opportunity.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Any advice to close today? Any advice for people, immigrants that are looking for things? You said a particular thing, which is do it legally, do it right, find an attorney. Do you have any further advice you want to give to people that are really?
Yeah, I gave one too. Stay out of trouble. You might be a criminal from your country where you are coming from. When you enter JFK or you enter Philadelphia International Airport or whichever airport you come in, hang that bag before you enter into the airport. And I'm saying that, and I'm saying it with all sensitivities. When you come in, stay out of trouble. Don't be the one that will be witnessing somebody stole somebody, somebody slapped somebody. Stay completely under the radar. Okay, when you want to get your papers, don't be the one that will be getting aggressive and say, oh, the anger runs in our family. Forget that. When you come here, forget about what runs in your family. And these are things I have given, these are advices I've given to people before. Stay out of trouble. Don't engage in lying. Don't engage in fraudulent activity. Don't be the one that will be writing checks for people and you know you don't have money there. Okay, you can go to jail. And if you go to jail, you don't have your paper, they will deport you. You won't even have to pay for your air flight. Okay, they will take you back to your country free of charge. So be careful. Stay completely out of trouble, and then don't engage in lying. If they catch you in lies and you don't have your paper here, you might be in serious trouble as well. Even if you have your papers, stay out of lying. Don't engage in criminality. Use a proper attorney, not an attorney you give your paper to, 1 hour you get there, everything has disappeared. I mean, nobody needs to tell you that that's not a good attorney. Okay, so get an attorney that has a name, an attorney that has an address, that has a phone number, that you have called from that phone number and you know that it is for sure, it's his number. Okay, anything you do, don't follow others to do evil. Some people might do wrong thing and get their papers and go scot-free because luck is on their side. That luck may not be on your side. So don't work for luck. Work for reality. Work for things that are provable, palpable, and some things that are legitimate. That when they wake you from sleep, you are not going to be saying, oh, sometimes they come to people's houses, immigration when you file. And there have been situations in which they will talk to you in your house. They ask you, where is your husband? What does he do? Did he come home last night? This and that. And then they will go to your husband's work or your wife's work and ask similar questions. And if you say he slept in the house last night and the husband says, oh, I work all night. I came this morning and I had to dress up and go back to work again. Are you saying you don't know your husband that slept next to you? Okay, so the lies are very, very easy to catch. Stay from anything that looks fraudulent and you'll be able to get what you need. If you cannot go in one category, you can go in another category. Don't damage your name. Don't damage your file with them and you'll be okay. America wants to admit people. So if you look at it from that point of view, that they are not here to chase you out. Do you see that Statue of Liberty that you find in Staten Island? Okay, that is beckoning to everybody. It's telling people who have reason to be in this country to come. You have money to invest, come. You are being chased by harassment, or some people want to kill you or maim you, and you are able to escape, come. You know, that's what they're saying to you. You have you just want a change of environment. You want to live here. I mean, just want to live here for a period of time, like visiting visa, come. That's what he's saying. So if he's saying come, why will you now engage in something that says get out? So if you think of it like that, you'll be able to be fine. All right.
Thank you very much, man.